Good evening, everyone. Am I visible and audible? Just let me know in the chat box. Hi, TVK Hem. How are you? All right. So I can see that I am visible and audible. Hello, Kim Jong Un. Hi, Sanatani. Hello, Anmol. Hi, Anupama. Good evening. Perfect. Thank you, Shivam. That means so much. It's so good to be back. And I'll again talk to you about RC techniques and practice. If you have attended some of my sessions earlier, you know I love RCs. I love to talk about RC passages. So here I am talking about them again. And I would like to introduce myself to all of you who are watching me on the Rodha platform for the first time. I have been teaching CLAT aspirants. So it's been 8 years now, over 8 years now, that I've been teaching management and law aspirants. And because I've taken various exams in this journey of mine, I have scored 99.9 percentile in CAT and ZAT VARC. I've also taken the NMAT, SNAP, all these exams that are relevant for you as you're preparing for a career in management and even if you're preparing for a career in law. Uh, and I'm an alumnus of SRCC. I did my BCom honors from there, then my MCom from Delhi School of Economics. In 2023, I got a scholarship to pursue a master's in TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages. So I, of course, took that scholarship and I went to Scotland. I studied in this university named the University of St. Andrews. And I'm happy to report that I got a distinction there. So, yeah, this is about me. I love reading, I love writing, and I love teaching, as you can see. So, yeah, so good to see all of you. Just reading your comments. Hi, Aftab. Hello, Ekta. Hi, Shreyansh. Hello, Shivam. No, Ayush sir will also be teaching you. Don't worry about it. Hi, Shivam. Hello, Sayanti. Hello, Ankit. Hi, Ankit. Sufficient, I cannot say, but yes, definitely. If you're just beginning your preparation, then these lectures are definitely going to help you, and then you can make a call whether you would want to pursue this more in depth, right? Hello, hi, I am Journey. Hi, Abhinav. All right. So let's begin our discussion. And I think the starting point, a good starting point, whenever we talk about any competitive exam, is to just see what has appeared the most recently in that entrance test, right? So, a good starting point is to see CAT 2024 slots. I have just written CAT 2024 slot 1 here because even just going through this gives you an idea as to where your RC passages are coming from. These are not new sources. Smithsonian Mag has been a CAT favorite. Okay, The Economist, The Guardian, these are all old sources. If you pick up CAT 2023, 22, 21, pick up last 10 years of CAT, RC passages, and you will see these sources recurring. So actually, CAT is giving you ample chance to prepare from these sources, to read from these sources. It is nudging you to read these sources, go through them. Publicbooks.org, this is an online magazine. It's not that well known as, let's say, The Economist. But I will suggest you something towards the end that will help you to get acquainted with some articles from some such obscure magazines, right? We can't go and cover all of them, but I'll give you a source that will help you cover some of them. Okay. All right. Let's see what you are saying. Hello world, probably from March. I think the batch is from March. And anything else? Okay. All right. So the first question, I think a lot of you say, oh, we know what to read, हमें पता है, हमारे पास भी मटेरियल है, हमें पता है कहाँ से रीड करना है, पर द पॉइंट इज कैसे रीड करना है, हाउ टू रीड. इट्स जस्ट 40 minutes, there are 4 RC passages plus there are other questions. So how do I read in that time constraint so that I understand, I am able to attempt questions. So let's discuss that. You tell me, do I need a word by word comprehension कि मुझे एक एक word समझ में आना चाहिए? Yes. Your responses. Word by word comprehension चाहिए CAT में? So, absolutely, Sayanti, Sanatani, you're absolutely right. No, word by word comprehension nahi chahiye hame, right? And that also answers another question that I get very often. Ma'am, vocabulary weak hai, to nahi ho pa raha hai. Right? See, if let's say you have a 500 plus word RC passage, in that I understand that there could be 10, 15 words that could be difficult for you. But you have to find out, are those 10 15 words essential for my 80% comprehension? If those 8 to 10 words are not essential for your 80% comprehension, then you don't have to worry so much. So don't let vocabulary become a roadblock for you right in the beginning. I am not saying that you don't have to improve your vocabulary. I am just saying then don't get bogged down by it. उससे घबराना नहीं है. अगर मुझे 3-4 difficult words नज़र आ गए, 8-10 difficult words नज़र आ गए, we are going to do a passage today, and I'll show you that even though there are going to be vocabulary words there, we can navigate them. Okay, with some amount of smartness, with some contextual reading, we can navigate a relative amount of difficult vocabulary, right? So CAT does not ask you word by word comprehension. But that does not mean that you'll never read anything to understand it 100%. No. There are going to be areas that are difficult for you, right? For example, you may like economics, but you don't like philosophy. तो अब philosophy में जब मुझे एग्जाम के बाहर पढ़ना है, when I'm not taking a mock, when I'm not taking the actual test, when I'm reading to get a better understanding of that genre, what do I have to do? There I have to try to understand it 100%. Okay, so I'll have to underline the words that I'm not able to get. I may have to look up their meaning later. I may have to go more in depth in that concept that has been detailed in that article, in that particular book, if you're reading one. So outside the exam, when you're reading some difficult reads, some difficult genres, some difficult articles, वहाँ पर ट्राई करो कि जितना ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा समझ आ सके आ जाए, राइट? बट when you're reading for RC passages, when you're reading your editorials, your articles, if you're able to get an 80% comprehension, if you're able to get the gist of it, even if you don't understand 3 to 4 words, that's absolutely okay. Okay, so don't treat vocabulary as your constraint. Treat it as something that you can overcome, right? Okay. Yes, Anmol, a bit of Mandarin, basic Mandarin, yes. Yes, English, absolutely. Aeon is important. The passage that we are going to do today, I have picked up an excerpt from Aeon and created a passage out of it. So, yes, Aeon is important. It has been asked, it has been a source, a prominent source in your CAT previous year exams. Okay? All right. Now, the second technique that students ask me about, skimming and scanning, right? So they ask me, skimming करके काम चल जाएगा क्या? Because there are 4 RC passages. How do I attempt all of them in 40 minutes? So why not just read the major bits? Why not skip some bits? So you tell me, if you have taken a mock, if you've taken the exam in the previous years, will skimming, that is just reading the key ideas and leaving out some material, will it work in CAT? Yes. Let's see what you say. Unnati says no. But why? Why won't it work? सब यही तो बोलते हैं कि की आइडियाज ही तो ग्रास्प करने हैं. तो मैं भी स्किमिंग में तो मेजर आइडियाज तो आई एम रीडिंग. आई एम जस्ट लीविंग आउट द अननेसेसरी स्टफ, इजंट इट? Why won't it work? Shashank is saying it works. Okay. So, in writing, when do we skim? When we are reading very lengthy articles. Let's say you're a manager and you have to read a 200-word report, right? And you have to submit a presentation on it in a couple of days, right? Now, if you start reading that 200-word report word by word, it won't work. Probably you'll not be able to prepare a presentation. If you skim read it, it may work. But cat RCs 200 words के 200 pages के तो नहीं होते, right? 200 pages, that's what I meant to say. Cat RCs होते हैं 450 to 550 words. In this limited word count, you can't really afford to skim, right? Every bit of information is something that the examiner wants you to at least go through once. Okay, so skimming works when we are reading very lengthy material. It won't work for something that is just 450 to 550 words. Okay, so that is something that we have established, that you have to read the entire RC passage. Now, coming to scanning. Scanning is basically hunting for important stuff, important information. And that is something all of us do. No matter whether we are reading a short RC, whether we are reading a long RC. वो हम सब करते हैं. Right? So, for example, when you look at a question and you realize, oh, इसका answer para 2 में है. And then, you go to para 2 and you hunt for the answer. So, that is nothing but scanning. So, scanning तो हम सब करते हैं. In CAT, what you can do is that you can skim at a sentence level. Now, what do I mean by that? Skimming at a sentence level. Let's see an example. Read this sentence. Yes. Manish will deal with this itself today. RC को कैसे read करें, ठीक है? Okay. So, have you read this sentence? Now tell me what is important in this sentence. Very good, Kanan. Excellent. बताओ इसमें important stuff क्या है? Ernesto Di Meo, a materials engineer at the University of Naples, Federico II in Italy, tells the New York Times Alexander Nazarian. ये important stuff नहीं है, isn't it? So, in CAT, in a comparative exam where your RCs are short, you can skim at a sentence level. तो आप ये कर सकते हो कि आप you pay attention to the ideas, this idea here, right? And not really the description of the person, because it may not be important. If it is important, a question will mention it and I will come back to it. But in the first read, I will just process it as, okay, this was said by the studies co-author. That's it. Okay, so skim at the level of a sentence. That's a smart thing to do. Okay, not every word in a sentence is equally important. Okay, so the, of, ये सब equally important words नहीं है ना, right? But key, method, well cooked albumin, ये important words हैं. So you have to use your smartness and you can do it. अभी आपने answer दिया. Okay, all right, that's great, Preet. I hope they helped you. Now, scanning, as I told you, question answer stage पे हम सब करते हैं. So for example, if there's a question that says, according to the passage, which of the following is not a characteristic of millipedes? Okay, millipedes are these worms, right? So that means passage में बात हुई होगी millipedes की. That means the passage has characteristics of millipedes. That means you have to go to that section where the characteristics are mentioned and accordingly eliminate. So here you'll have to scan, right? So the answers are not that simple. Students say word by word reading तो required ही नहीं है CAT के लिए. But outside the exam, definitely it will help you to build a deeper understanding. Similarly, skimming and scanning तो नहीं work करती छोटे passages में, right? But at a sentence level you can skim. And scanning is something we all do. Okay. So अब करना क्या है, right? काफ़ी हो गया कि हाँ ये इधर work करेगा, ये उधर work करेगा. What exactly do you have to do? You have to find the midway, right? Neither skimming and scanning nor reading word by word. You have to read to grasp the key ideas, right? Now again you must be thinking ये तो हर कोई कहता है key ideas होते क्या हैं key ideas, कैसे grasp करूँ मैं, मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा वो key idea है as an aspirant, right? So this is all what we'll see in the coming RC passage, and you only will tell me, you'll identify the key ideas, you will tell me what the key ideas are, right? So it's going to build your confidence as well, because आप identify करके खुद ही मुझे बताओगे. Okay, अच्छा ठीक है, नहीं पता चलता कि आइडिया, कोई बात नहीं. Tell me वाई डज एनी वन राइट एन essay और आर्टिकल? अगर आपको कोई essay आर्टिकल लिखना है, आप क्यों लिखते हो वो? वाई डू यू राइट इट? व्हाट्स योर पर्पस? थैंक यू प्रीत. Yes, Yogesh, a good source. To convey a message. Okay. So, Shashank, the thing is, I don't know right now. Okay, I don't know right now. Uh, to convey a main idea. Okay, so basically आपके पास कुछ ideas हैं, आप वो convey करना चाहते हो, ठीक है? So, how can you convey them? Like, for example, a newspaper reporter is also, telling you something. But does a newspaper reporter present their opinions? Do they give their opinions in a newspaper report? Rohan says, expressing my feelings, sharing my experiences, absolutely. To jot down our opinion, okay. For social awareness, excellent. No. So Chaitanya says, no, only facts. Right, right. Sam, very good. Okay. So from your answers, what I get is that we write something to inform, to tell facts, right? So I may want to inform you, right? Just a second. Okay, to inform. देन आई मे राइट टू एंटरटेन यू. मुझे बस आपको लेट्स से हंसाने का मन है, आपको एंटरटेन करने का मन है, आपको रुलाने का मन है, लेट्स से. सो इट कुड बी एन इमोशनल पीस. और आई मे राइट टू परसुएड यू, राइट? My intention could be to convince you of something, to argue something, right? So these are the intentions pretty much with which anyone writes. So your essay could be an informative essay, an informative article. It could be persuasive. Entertaining usually cat में नहीं आते हैं, right? So it's the purpose is not really to entertain. So if my purpose is, let's say, to persuade you, then what will I do? I will not just present facts, I will also give my opinions and I will support those opinions with some reasons, right? So in that case, these opinions will become important, right? Because मैं उसी वो दे के तो आपको persuade कर रही हूँ, right? And these opinions will then become my key ideas. So in every piece that you read from now on, see which sentences are the main opinions of the author. जो उसका मेन जो वो पॉइंट आपसे बोलना चाह रहा है वो उसको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? सी वॉट दोज ओपिनियंस आर एंड दे आर द की आइडियाज. अब उसके बारे में उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए भी वो और ज़्यादा डिटेल्स दे सकता है और ज़्यादा फैक्ट्स दे सकता है. वो फैक्ट सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स है, राइट? सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई कैन से, oh, I think that Mi 10 is an excellent mobile phone because it has a good camera, it has a good battery life, right? So now my opinion here is that Mi 10 is an excellent phone. Now how am I giving supporting details? Camera अच्छा है, battery life अच्छी है, right? Photos storage space बहुत अच्छा है, right? So वो supporting details हैं. सो अभी हम एक आरसी पैसेज में वो आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे एंड देन इट विल बिकम क्लियर टू यू व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय दिस डिस्टिंक्शन बिटवीन ओपिनियन एंड देन द डिटेल्स गिवन टू सपोर्ट दोज ओपिनियंस, राइट? सो हम ग्रास्प करेंगे आज की आइडियाज एक आरसी पैसेज में, और जब हमें वो कनेक्शन समझ आने लगेगा फ्रॉम पैराग्राफ टू पैराग्राफ, हर की आइडियाज आर कनेक्टेड लाइक दिस फ्रॉम पैरा टू पैरा, पैरा टू पैरा. वंस वी रियलाइज दिस कनेक्शन, वी ऑल्सो रियलाइज कि वो कहना क्या चाहता है, राइट? व्हाट इज़ द पर्पस ऑफ द ऑथर बिहाइंड राइटिंग द आरसी. कहना क्या चाहते हो भाई, ठीक है? और एक बार पर्पस समझ में आ गया, टॉपिक तो मुझे समझ में आ ही जाता है, राइट? ब्रॉडर टॉपिक आई थिंक सबको समझ में आ जाता है व्हेन वी रीड समथिंग. सो वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट द टॉपिक इज एंड व्हाट द ओपिनियंस, what is the collection of opinions of the author, the stance of the author on that topic, you have successfully grasped the main idea of the RC. एक बार मेन आइडिया समझ में आ गया तो बहुत सारे इन्फ्रेंस क्वेश्चंस, इनडायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस, फर्दर एप्लीकेशन क्वेश्चंस ईजिली हो जाते हैं, ठीक है? तो हमें ये करना सीखना है. ओके, लेट्स सी व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इन द चैट बॉक्स. Right, it could be a rhetoric article also. Very good answer, Chaitanya. Modern farming, because through rhetoric हम try करते हैं, like, so for instance politicians, their speeches are in the nature of rhetoric, right, wherein I'm trying to convince you with a lot of emotions, with a lot of fervor, right. I may have very less substance, but I'm trying to convince you nonetheless. Okay. Should I write down new vocabulary words? Yogesh, what you can do is, when you're reading, don't write them down while you are in that act of reading. Once you're done, once you're finished, then yes, you can maintain a notebook, you can write them down somewhere. But yes, revisit it. Okay? Just writing won't help. Keep on revisiting it. Okay, so let's practice. मेन आइडिया समझ नहीं आता, ठीक है, अभी मॉडर्न फार्मिंग विल डू इट एंड समझ में आ जाएगा. Let's see. So the source of today's RC passage, as I said, I have brought an article from Eon, an article excerpt. Eon के articles are somewhere around 1300 words, 1200 words. तो आपको जो एग्जाम में भी आते हैं उसके excerpts आते हैं, right? Not the entire article. Word count is 525 words, which was pretty much the word count of some RC passages in your CAT 2024, right? So let's begin. Are we ready? Yup. We seem to be ready. Soumya, it will happen gradually. See, when I started reading the Economic Times on my very first day, मुझे भी नहीं समझ में आया था, right? In the very first article, I found some 5-10 words which I did not understand at all. But the idea is to keep on reading. So I started with 2 articles, then I gradually increased the number of articles. I would go and search the meanings of those terms, read a bit more about them. So वो धीरे धीरे धीरे, then I built a base. Then terms like I understood, oh, this is what ROCE means, return on capital employed, this is what ROI means. So gradually that happens. Okay, it's a muscle, you have to flex it every day, right? Okay, so हम क्या करेंगे, we'll go paragraph by paragraph. Your job is to read the paragraph and then tell me what you think is or are the key ideas in this paragraph. Okay, let's start. Interesting passage, paragraph 1. Start reading. Okay, so Anshi says increase in influencers with time. Is that it? Is that the key idea? Okay, Yogesh mentions the word momfluencers, which is, I think, very important for this passage. Okay, momfluencers are dominating. Okay. Dominating. Okay. Market increase in the market size, we could say, right? Growing momfluencers. Okay. Mom influencers influence us. Okay. All right. Anubhav has also captured this point, that it also captures the role of women in consumer purchases. Yes, that is also there. Okay, let's see. See, the very first sentence talks about US industry. So it basically gives us the context which country are we talking about? We're talking about the US. The US industry of influencer marketing. But this is not just about influencers. Influencer is a very broader category. This paragraph is, within that, it is talking to us about momfluencers, mothers who are influencers. And what is the author's opinion on momfluencers? The market of momfluencers. Momfluencers are particularly, notice the word that has been used, coveted. Right? What is coveted? What is coveted? Let's say मुझे नहीं पता meaning coveted का. Let me see if I can guess the meaning. Yeah, through some neighboring words, through the context. Let's see. Okay. So see, this is a key idea here, as in it establishes the context. I would call it context more than the key idea. मुझे इससे पता चल रहा है कि कहाँ की बात हो रही है, right? Okay. Then within this world, momfluencers are particularly coveted. This is the key idea of this paragraph. Okay, that they are really desired. Okay, and even if let's say I do not know the meaning of this word, notice this word, they appeal to fellow mothers. Appeal. So they are able to attract, right? They are influencing purchases. That means people want to see their content, people want to be influenced by them. Yes, a lucrative market, and I'm calling their market a lucrative. What is lucrative? A lucrative market. Correct, Kanan. So this point is now connected to the next paragraph that we are going to read, right? A lucrative market, attractive. Yes, monetarily, when something is attractive, right? That is also called lucrative. Okay, so we've got the key idea of this paragraph. And even if I didn't know the meaning of coveted, I could see the words such as appeal, lucrative, and I could have understood that they're desired, right? Okay. Another two words, burgeoning, ballooned. If you know the meanings of these words, definitely it will be easier for you to understand these two sentences. Burgeoning, expanding, increasing. Ballooned, something that increases in size. So it has ballooned. Visualize this. Something has ballooned, right? Okay. Let's go to the next paragraph. Tell me the key idea of this paragraph. The key idea or ideas, there could be more than one also. Himanshu, that's a good question. I'll answer it towards the end. Yeah. Inequality in momfluencer economy, right? So it's wildly unequal. The very first sentence is an important key idea, right? Talks about the disparity. Okay, right? Income disparity. Okay. Unequal, okay. So Kanan has captured both the ideas that it is unequal, but those who succeed, there's a potential gold mine for them. Yeah, potential and growing gold mine. So it's unequal, but it holds a lot of potential if you succeed, right? There is potential. Okay, correct, Amit, correct. All right. So, see, these are the two key ideas here. The momfluencer economy is much like the regular one, wildly unequal, But there is a potential and growing gold mine for those who succeed. See how it is connected to lucrative in the previous paragraph? A lucrative market, right? A profitable, monetarily attractive market. And here is the word dabble. Now see, although I know it's a relatively easy word, you must have read it or heard it. But even if you do not know its meaning, it won't hamper your understanding of the key ideas of this paragraph. So what does it mean to dabble in something? Let's say I'm dabbling in painting these days. I'm just trying my hand at it. I'm an amateur. I'm not an expert. I'm just doing it on and off. I'm trying something. That is dabbling. Okay. All right. Hawking diapers, selling diapers. Hawking, hawkers are sellers. Okay. Paragraph 3. Very short. Tell me its key idea or ideas. Okay. Others? And she has answered. Putting your kids on camera for your momfluencer business. Kids are a part of it. To be a momfluencer, you have to have kids. Again, I like this language that Yogesh has used. You have to have kids, because he says you can't be a momfluencer without kids. So it's essential. Yeah, you have to have kids, and you have to make them work. You also not just put them to work, you have to put them into the public eye, right? This sentence, it's actually quite important. And once you start reading stuff on a regular basis, you also start to notice the tone of the author. Look at the tone of the author here, handing them on a digital platter to ever ravenous spectators hankering for access, right? Does the author feel good about this? Is the author positive, negative, or neutral about this? Yes. Santi, absolutely correct. Negative, see the words ever ravenous spectators. You're handing them on a digital platter. It's like, you get this imagery as if somebody's serving kids on a plate. Yeah? Handing them on a digital platter to ever ravenous. Ravenous are hungry spectators. So you are kind of present, the imagery, the picture that comes to our mind is as if kids are being served as food to hungry spectators who are, hankering, who desire, who urge more and more access into your life. Yeah. All right. So here, these are the key ideas. You have to have kids, you have to make them work, and you have to put them into the public eye. Yeah. Okay. Uh, are the colors visible to you? I mean, I have highlighted this using colors, these paragraphs, and I just want to know if you are able to see these colors, green, blue, or are these all black and white? Ah, okay. I'll improve the background from the next time. I think it could be because of the slide background. Yeah. Okay. Paragraph 4. Okay. Read it? Good, Yogesh. Unnati, that's one of the points. That's one of the points, what you're saying. Okay. Right. So again, see, and if you notice something, the paragraphs that we are reading, the first sentence usually has important ideas. I'm not saying that this is a formula that you can always go along with, but usually. So in the first paragraph, of course, the first sentence was important. In the second paragraph also, and in the third paragraph again, this key idea that you have to have kids. Okay, even in paragraph 4, the first sentence here, okay, momfluencer sites may look spontaneous. Momfluencer sites may look spontaneous, but, okay, so notice this structure also, may and but. Whenever, I use these together in a sentence, okay, this may look like this. He may sound innocent, but he's not. Yeah, so this may but combination, whenever any author uses it, this is what the author really means. This is the opinion of the author. Okay, so the author is saying लग सकता है कि ऐसा हो पर एक्चुअली में ऐसा है. ओके, एक्चुअली में तो ऐसा है. So this part after but is important, right? There's a dialogue in Game of Thrones that anything that anybody says before but is actually, I can't use the word, but it actually is nonsense. Yeah. So momfluencer sites may look spontaneous, but if you see, they plan their content, they're represented by an agency, they use professional film crews and photographers. So through all these three things, the author is trying to say they may look spontaneous, but they're not. It's all planned. It's business, right? Being represented by an agency. Look at the words plan, agency, professional. It means it's a business, right? Okay. All right. Now, this paragraph is a lengthy paragraph. So, we just read this paragraph, quite an important one, yes, because the author really gives this opinion that momfluencer sites are not spontaneous. Now, let's see what this paragraph says. And after reading this, let me know if you found this difficult. I don't think it's difficult. Read it and again tell me what the key ideas are. Thank you, Evinox. Okay, have we read it? Good point, Santi. Artificial, scripted, curated, keeping in track the engagement rate and the basically you're trying to build an audience there. So yeah, planned. Yes, Chaitanya. So see, the way Chaitanya has worded it, it talks about how it is all planned and scripted and lacks authenticity, right? So in the previous paragraph we talked about how it is planned. We talked about how, it's not spontaneous, it's all business like, they're represented by an agency, right? Increasingly use professional film crews. This paragraph is actually expanding on the previous paragraph. If you see, this paragraph is a major portion of this paragraph is dedicated to expanding on what the previous paragraph said. Okay, so for example, professional film crews and photographers. So here we are talking about this, that for each image used, hundreds are taken, then edited and photoshopped. So we are just picking on the previous point and explaining it, right? Content is often scripted. Again, we talked about content being planned in advance. So we are again expanding on this idea. So this paragraph is expanding on. So I've used yellow color here. I hope a light color is visible to you here. So for each image used, hundreds are taken. Okay. Agents negotiate. So agency being represented by an agency, having professional film crews, content being planned in advance. All 3 points from the previous paragraph being expanded on here. Right? So then what is the key idea of this paragraph? Let's see what you're saying. Okay. Authenticity, lacking authenticity. Those of you who mentioned it, yes. So that is the key idea of this paragraph. Okay, that it is very rarely authentic. So if you see, para 4 and 5 actually complete each other. Para 4 started on the note that it may look spontaneous, and para 5 ends by saying it is very rarely authentic. So it may look spontaneous, but it is very rarely authentic. It is often scripted, right? It is very business-like. It is a result of detailed preparation, planning, and it's all about, building a brand, building an audience, right? Engagement. So there's a contrivance. What is this? What is the meaning of this word? Contrivance. Studied contrivance. Yes. When something is contrived. So when you put in, let's say you create something which looks fake, artificial, because it's a result of deliberately planning and doing something. It's not something that arises spontaneously or naturally. Okay, that is when it is contrived, right? So a lot of couple goals posts that we see on Instagram, right, they appear contrived. So that is why here that's the key idea. The most important takeaway from this paragraph is that it is rarely authentic. It's all scripted, it's all planned, it's all contrived, right? And this paragraph is expanding on the previous one, right? The next one, para 6, and this is the last one. Okay, the last one. After this we'll attempt some questions. Yes, more disturbing. Start reading this. Yes. Himanshu, that's what we are trying, a part of that is what we are trying to answer today through RCs, right? कि इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं हो रही है तो आपको आपके टेस्ट्स में भी उससे आंसर मिल सकता है व्हाट इज इट दैट यू आर गेटिंग रॉन्ग और इट कुड बी अ कॉन्सेप्चुअल इशू सो राइट नाउ वी आर डीलिंग विद द ऑन अ कॉन्सेप्चुअल लेवल राइट वी आर ऑन अ कॉन्सेप्चुअल लेवल राइट नाउ yes Chaitanya that's an important key idea of this paragraph. Okay. Okay. Right. So there are two key ideas in this paragraph. The first one, as I said, it's there in the very first sentence again. More disturbing is a notable focus on little girls channeling beauty pageant vibes, who twirl for the camera in frilly smocks, suck on lollies, and flutter mascaraed lashes. So the author finds it disturbing that little girls are being put in front of the camera like that, and usually they garner a higher amount of male followers because of this, right? So in a way, it's leading to a sexualization of little girls, right? And another issue that the author raises is performing your childhood for an outside, unseen, and adult global audience can mess you up. So for the child's mental health also, it's not great because the child is being put out there. So their images, their pictures are being put out there for everybody to see, for people whom you don't even know, right? So that can actually harm your mental health. So it can mess you up. That's what the author implies through mess you up here. So two key ideas here, and first in the first sentence and in the last sentence, right? So these are the key ideas of this passage. Now it's also a case, it's also about your retention. You also have to retain these key ideas. तो आपको याद रहना चाहिए पैरा वन में क्या की आइडिया था. ओके पैरा वन में पहले यूएस इन्फ्लुएंसर इंडस्ट्री के बारे में बात हुई. देन वी केम टू मॉमफ्लुएंसर्स एंड वी सेड दैट इट्स अ वेरी ल्यूक्रेटिव मार्केट, राइट? मॉमफ्लुएंसर्स आर coveted. So remembering that chain of thoughts, because that chain of key ideas is the purpose of the author, right? अदरवाइज वो अलग अलग पैराग्राफ्स लिख के छोड़ देता है, उनको वीव नहीं करता है एक आर्टिकल में. So, I'll come to the key ideas once more, right, before we attempt the questions. But I think because this is a piece wherein you can see the opinion of the author, I would like to ask this question first. What do you think is the tone of the author of this passage? Yes, the tone, the attitude. The author is concerned, yes. Constructive, okay. But the author uses words such as, the ever ravenous spectators hankering for access. They are hawking diapers for a few dollars. So the author is critical, right? Clearly critical. And the author also is disapproving. When you use words like, hawking, hawkers are, street sellers. So you are comparing them to street sellers. In a way, slightly, you are looking down upon them. Then when you say ever ravenous spectators hankering for access, yeah, and then when the author talks about this twirling for the camera in frilly smocks, flutter mascaraed lashes, so the author is disapproving, the author is critical, right? So the tone here would be critical, as many of you have answered correct. And critical, one of the meanings of critical is disapproving, right? So disapproving, critical tone, correct. Okay. Pessimistic, I would say, see, some of you have said pessimistic. Pessimistic would be the answer when the author does not have much hope for the future. Optimism and pessimism are also related to the future. So the author hasn't really talked about the future here. So I cannot say pessimistic or optimistic here, right? Concerned also, yes. Concerned is also there. The author is concerned about these things. Um, However, again, if I have to choose one, I would choose disapproving and critical over concerned. Right, frightful. Frightful is a slightly forceful term here, right? कि वो बहुत डरा हुआ है, ऐसा डर नहीं हमें नजर आया, right? So, okay, all right. Before I go to the next slide, let's see a summary of the key ideas. See this. First paragraph. Okay, the market is lucrative, unequal. Sorry, I think the first paragraph is about momfluencers. I should write that down. Yeah, I think I wrote it down, but then yeah, some tech thing. So momfluencers, the market of momfluencers is lucrative, unequal, but promising huge gains. However, it puts kids to work in the public eye. It may look spontaneous, but it is contrived. It's very business-like. It's inauthentic, right? It can result in girl children being sexualized and even mentally harm children, right? Or even if you want to skip the word mentally, it can harm children, right? So if you now summarize these key ideas, see, you have got the topic here, momfluencer industry, and you have got the key ideas, right? What did I tell you? When you connect the key ideas, you get the purpose. So this was the purpose of the author, to highlight in front of you how the momfluencer industry is a lucrative market. However, it is rarely authentic, it is not spontaneous, and it is putting kids to work in the public eye and harming them in the process, right? So that is the main idea of the author here. Pramodini is saying, can we say scathing? Scathing, in some sentences, it does come across as scathing, but not the entire passage, Pramodini. Because, again, if it was scathing out and out, then it would introduce that tone in almost every paragraph. But we see that in a few sentences. The Hawking sentence, the sentence about, ever ravenous spectators. So it's prevalent in parts, but not the entire passage. Okay. All right. Chaitanya has asked, should we summarize on a piece of paper or in our minds? See, in the exam, we won't have that time that we can summarize on a piece of paper, right? So I would suggest that right from today, right from whenever you read an article, try to summarize it in your mind. See, in the first go, you may remember 2 key ideas out of 4, and that's okay. The next time, try to remember more key ideas and gradually increase that. So I would say start from the mind unless the piece is very long. So for instance, Eon articles, they can be a bit long. So there, yes, you can write down in the margins. Okay, you can maybe note down on a piece of paper. But for 400 to 500 words, try to do it in your mind, right? Because there are going to be 4 to 5 key ideas. Okay. All right, then we now know the tone, and can we say we know the main idea? Can we say that we know the main idea, the topic plus the purpose of the author? The topic is momfluencer industry, and the purpose is to highlight these things about the momfluencer industry. Okay, then let's attempt some questions. All right, let's see. Question number 1. Tell me, what should be the answer to this? According to the passage, which of the following is not false? Okay. Do you want me to go back? Okay. So I'm getting a lot of B's. I've also got one D. All right. the momfluencer industry was worth $46 billion in 2019. That is what D says. So see, these are facts, right, from the passage. You can, if in case you are unsure of your answer, you can simply cross check this and you'll find that it was $46 billion, but it was not just the momfluencer industry. The momfluencer industry is a part of it. We are talking about the entire new mom economy here, which is the apps, products, and services targeting millennial parents. So D is incorrect. D is false, right? D is not the answer, and absolutely correct. Majority of you've got this right. The answer is B. Most content posted by momfluencers is not genuine. We talked about authenticity so much, yeah? So it is rarely authentic. That means most of it is not, right? Require is incorrect because our passage also stated that some of them may not have, outside professional crew. This was stated in the passage that some of them may not have that, but they still click good pictures, slick looking images. Women made 83% of all consumer purchases in the US, not in 2021. This year is incorrect. Okay, they did so in 2019. Just a second. Sorry. Yeah, here, 2019. Okay, so easy question, direct question, and B is our answer here. Perfect. Let's go to the next one. Which of the following discussion is most likely to continue the passage? अगर passage आगे continue होता तो क्या बात होती? Okay. All right, let's see. I've got B, A. So the point is that whenever I'm talking about a question that says what is likely to continue the passage, you should see what has been talked about in the last paragraph, right? What was the discussion that was happening in the last paragraph, isn't it? So should I go back to the last one? I am sorry, the last paragraph here was this, where we are talking about its harmful effects on children, yeah? The little girls channeling beauty pageant vibes, performing your childhood for an outside unseen audience can mess you up, right? So the focus is on children, yeah? That means some options I can eliminate easily. Which ones? The rise of momfluencers has created a new type of job for mothers, but at what cost to their families? Am I talking about their entire family here? No, my focus is on children. Eliminated. Okay. Then, many momfluencers, a lot of you have said B also, yeah? Many momfluencers struggle to strike a balance between being a good parent and maintaining their influencer status. Who, like, okay, tell me, who is the focus on? किसके ऊपर focus है in the last paragraph? Is it on the struggle of momfluencers? That, how they are trying to pursue a balancing act? Is it from their perspective? So B is a tempting option to mark, yeah, because it's talking about parenting. So indirectly it's talking about children also, you feel. But the thing is, it focuses on mother's struggle, option B, whereas the last paragraph doesn't talk about mother's struggle. It talks about children's plight. Right? So the focus is not on momfluencers parenting here, their struggle to parent. No. So B is eliminated. Now, A says the pressure to succeed in the momfluencer industry can lead to an emphasis on creating contrived content by mothers and children. Isn't it a discussion that has already happened, that they are creating contrived content? That discussion has already happened. And the last one, the last paragraph doesn't really deal with how it's leading mothers also, because here the focus is on mothers also, to create more and more contrived content. वो डिस्कशन नहीं है लास्ट पैराग्राफ की, ये वाली डिस्कशन पहले हो चुकी है, राइट? सो एलिमिनेटेड. Momfluencers have become a powerful force in the advertising industry, but their use of children in their content raises ethical concerns. The author is concerned in the last paragraph about children. Yeah. So the author could continue by stating that, this is concerning. Okay. Ethically also, it's very concerning to put your children in front of an audience, in front of an unseen audience. Okay. At such an impressionable age. Yes. Absolutely. Some of you have got this correct. D is the answer. Good. Those who mark D. So, when we are looking at what is likely to continue the passage, we have to A, look at the overall topic, definitely. And what was the discussion that was happening immediately earlier. Okay, so this is called a further application question, what we just did. All right. Question 3. Which of the following best explains the purpose of the fourth paragraph? Okay, we'll go back to fourth paragraph once. Yeah, momfluencer sites may something out of pocket. Right. So let's go back once to the fourth paragraph. Let's read it. Okay, I think you must have read this. Yes. All right. So, what do you think is the purpose of this paragraph? Eliminate. Okay. Okay. All right. Others? Okay. What is the purpose of the fourth paragraph? Right. So the third paragraph ended on the note that you can't be a momfluencer without putting your children to work, without putting your child to work. Then we started with this paragraph. And even in the next paragraph, we talked about things such as, hundreds of images being taken, basically all the work that goes into it, right? The agency negotiating, right? Scripting the content. A lot of you have said A. Okay, so I have created this passage, right? And A was meant to be my trap option. Now, the content creator in me is happy that, you've fallen into the trap, but the teacher in me is not, right? So, A is a trap option. C is the answer. So, good. A couple of students said C. That is the answer here. But let's see why A is incorrect. To explain how momfluencers curate their content, curate is when you collect, curate their content through an agency. Do they curate content through an agency? Tell me, does the agency help them in collecting content from various sources, curating content to appeal to brands and their target audience? Yes. Tell me. Is that the focus of this paragraph? Appealing to brands, target audience. Isn't that discussed in the next paragraph? When we talk about building a brand, when we talk about engagement, likes. So this is missing the point. Yeah. This option A, it is distorted. We call such options distorted. ठीक है, क्यूरेट एजेंसी के थ्रू नहीं कर रहे हैं, एजेंसी उनको बस रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है, राइट. एंड अपीलिंग टू ब्रांड्स एंड द टारगेट ऑडियंस is the focus of the next paragraph, is discussed in the next paragraph. B, has anybody marked B? Let me just quickly check. Good that nobody has marked B, because look at the tone here to highlight the hard work and professionalism that goes into the momfluencer business. The author isn't really very positive about the momfluencer business, so the author won't put a positive spin on this, hard work and professionalism. No, the author is not appreciating that in this paragraph. Okay. D says to discuss the process of momfluencers using their children. No, that has not been discussed in this paragraph. Using the children. In the next paragraph, in fact, we discuss this, that the agency negotiates whether children will appear or not. The children repeat slogans of brands. So this is an easy option to eliminate. D should have been eliminated. Okay. D was an easy one to eliminate. A was a trap option. B, if you understood the tone, that's why I asked you the tone, then you would eliminate. C, to examine the process of creating momfluencer content. कैसे बनाते हैं वो content? Okay, there are professional film crews, there's scripted content, right? So C is our answer. The author's tone, in fact, was, look at this paragraph once again. If you look here, the author is trying to say they may look spontaneous, but they are not. How does the author, substantiate it? Content scripted होता है, ठीक है, agency represent करती है, professional film crews use होते हैं. So the author is trying to tell you it's all business, right? It's all planned like a business. So purpose में उसका ये purpose था. In the previous paragraph also, the author was saying the children are put to work. So now we are looking at the work that is being done. ठीक है. I hope मैंने over explain नहीं किया है, ठीक है. Over explanation is still better than under explanation. Now, the last question. None of the following can be inferred from the passage except. So, what is the examiner asking? वो simply ये पूछना चाहता है, what can be inferred, right? ये बस उसने ज़बरदस्ती हमारे लिए डिफ़िकल्टी इंक्रीज कर दी, नन और एक्सेप्ट दोनों यूज़ करके. सो व्हाट कैन बी इन्फर्ड, बताओ. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm getting a lot of D's. 1C. Okay. Why I think it's B. Okay. All right. Just one thing. Okay. Yeah, I addressed that. Fine. In this question, mostly D is okay. So I am happy. D is the answer, right? So the teacher in me is happy that you've all answered D. I mean, most of you answered D. Now, some of you say B and C as well. Let's see that. So A, most of you have eliminated. I mean, those of you who answered have not answered A. The momfluencer industry is expected to decline. Now, I'm very happy that you haven't really thought outside the passage. So A would be an answer out of scope, outside the passage. The author hasn't commented on whether the industry will grow or whether the industry will decline. So actually, if you eliminated A, I think it should have been easy for you to eliminate B as well. Because B में मैंने क्या किया, उसका बिल्कुल opposite डाल दिया. The momfluence industry is expected to keep growing. How do I know that? Yes, the future I cannot comment on. I'm saying that it is growing, but whether it is expected to keep growing, I don't know. अभी grow कर रही है दिख रहा है मुझे, but is it expected to keep growing? I can't comment. Okay, see, because of economic barriers, the momfluencer industry is unequal. See this bit. So this kind of an option is a trap option in the sense that part of it will be correct, but part of it is wrong. Yeah. So the part that is correct is this part, just this part. The momfluencer industry is unequal. This is mentioned in the passage. We say that there are a lot of income disparities. Some of them earn $125,000 for a post, whereas others are just getting a few $100s for a post. Yeah. So this part is correct, but the author does not say that there are any economic barriers to enter the profession. You just need an internet connection, yeah, a good camera. Accessibility also has not been talked about. That some people can't access it. Nahi, bas ek internet connection. I mean that's out of scope. Forget what I said. But economic barriers की बात नहीं करी author ने. Accessibility की बात नहीं करी है. Yes. So C eliminated, only part of it is correct. D. This is, it's stated in a way in the passage. Compromising some privacy of the child is a requirement. It's inevitable. Putting your child in front of the camera, putting your child to work in front of the camera, that is essential, no, to being a momfluencer, and also a consequence of being a momfluencer. So D is the answer here. If anything is not clear, if you have any queries in this question, in another question in which a lot of you marked the trap option, please ask. I'll explain it again. Yes, we have a lot of time. I don't have a session after this. You can ask me any queries that you have in these questions. So can I say that there were 2 questions out of 4 here that were tricky, but 2 were pretty doable in this passage? And the passage was not a difficult read. Can I say that? So if you look at your CAT 2024 slot 1, these are the kind of passages that you got. The passage was not a difficult read, not very difficult to read, right? Easy words, just a couple of vocabulary words here and there. And the questions, 2 of them quite doable, 2 of them slightly tricky, or some even difficult. So this is what we are preparing for. And now that's great, Manish, actually, that's great. So this was my intention was to create an easy to moderate passage, right? And these are some sources that I would suggest to you. You can see that a lot of these sources are already those that I showed you in the beginning. The Guardian, yes, it was there. The Economist, Smithsonian Magazine was there. So try to read from these sources. Some of them will appear difficult in the beginning, right? For instance, some Economist articles may appear difficult to you. Some Eon articles may appear difficult, but that's okay. Pura mat padho, Eon ka article long lag raha hai, to read it in bits, yeah? And Smithsonian Mag, why I have highlighted it in green, ye easy hai. Okay, this is an easy source. The articles are easy. So those of you who think हम तो beginners हैं, हमसे नहीं पढ़ा जाता difficult, यहाँ से start कर लो. Okay, start from here. So just start, form a habit, and it will become easier with time. And this is your bonus suggestion, Arts and Letters Daily. Remember एक magazine थी in the sources of CAT 2024, publicbooks.org. Now, you must be thinking, no, कि हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये ऐसे obscure सी magazine आ गई, right? How would I know that I have to read such stuff? So what Arts and Letters Daily, this website does is it curates articles from various websites, from various magazines, newspapers, and then gives them to you. Okay, and you'll be surprised that Public Books is actually a magazine listed on it. It picks up articles from there. So I think CAT authorities may also have picked it up from here, and this is a good source for literature, for language, art, humanities, etc. ठीक है? Okay, Guardian is easy. Great, Manish. Stick to Guardian. Stick to the guardian. Aeon, it will become easier as you read it more and more. Okay, हम जब जैसे जैसे again as I said it's a muscle. धीरे धीरे हम weights भी तो ज़्यादा उठाने लगते हैं ना, reps भी increase कर देते हैं, right? So it will happen with Aeon as well. How to identify the traps, Pramodini? That is something, again, that is a topic of a full-fledged course. I can't teach you that in one session. That will be very tricky for me because traps अलग-अलग types के हैं, right? So it's a matter of a full course. Yes, Pramodini, it's good. AL daily is good. Yeah? Any other questions? I want to end this session on this note that you're beginning your preparation. If you already have a lot of negativity around it, a lot of nervousness, constraints around it, then it will become difficult. Okay. So start it on a positive note that, I can do this. Whatever desires you hold in your life, you are worthy of all of them. And if you believe that, if you start from that ground, you will achieve them. Okay. And yes, of course, preparation is required, action is required. So this is the action that you have to take. And I'm always there to help you. For that purpose, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to regularly analyze some editorials with you. We are going to read some editorials together, see the main ideas, key ideas, etc. And this Saturday at 4 p.m., I'll come with an editorial article and we'll do that. Yeah? Okay. Very regularly, Manish. Taking notes while reading, Prithviraj, if it's something that's very lengthy or very difficult, yes, I do suggest that. How many sources, Yogesh? Start with 1 or 2 sources. First, form a habit. Standardization is essential before optimization. Atomic Habits says that. So, पहले habit form करो. चाहे एक ही source pick करो, वहाँ से read करो. ठीक है? For a week, read from there. Then maybe think of expanding to another source. Yes? So, start. Even with one source, you can start. Okay. Yes, Manish, very frequent sessions. I think almost every day we'll meet. Yeah? Okay. No, Hyperion, it's actually the right time. You have time. Thank you, Chaitanya. That means a lot. Non-fiction books. That depends on your interest, Kanan. If you are interested in spirituality, I suggest a book, When Things Fall Apart. It's my all-time favorite. I'm also reading Atomic Habits again right now. So if you haven't read it, although it's a very popular book, I would recommend it. All right. Welcome. Thank you, Manish. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. I'll see you again. Till then, bye-bye. Have a great evening and keep preparing. Bye.